Killer Come Back to Me by Ray Bradbury. Chapter 1, Ricky Wolf's Woman. If you've never watched an autopsy, then this is what they do. They cut the body down the middle. Not all the way, but far enough for you to see everything from collarbones to kidneys. When the peels of flesh are tethered back with bright surgical clamps, the various organs thus exposed are examined closely before being sliced out with an expert move of the scalpel. They are then set aside for chemical analysis. The brain is removed from its case with a simple expedient of lifting the skull off in a circle from the ears up. If you're a criminal, you get special attention. You're not much different inside than anybody else. But the doctors keep looking, as if someday they'll actually find a criminal's body that didn't have a heart. An interesting case turned up in our laboratory this morning. They brought in the cadaver of one John Brogman. He had little blue tattoos dinting his chest and pelvic regions. On second look, you saw they weren't tattoos, but bullet holes. I'd like to tell John Brogman's story as it came to me, flat and cold and naked on an autopsy table. It's not sugar, it's carbolic and cyanide. It's a heart beating like a Tommy gun, faster and faster and faster until... Well, he had big lungs and good muscles. He had sponge sacks in his rib casings that maybe one day sucked in the air of the world and liked it. From the build of him, you could see he was from a small town where those lungs could grow and get started. Then you can see where his father and mother died. You can see where he had a younger brother who wasn't much help. You can see where they moved in with an aunt and uncle who didn't love them. And you can see where the uncle made Johnny Brogman work. Too young and too hard in a coal shaft. Those spots on Johnny's lungs. That's what tells you all about those years. Then you look at Brogman's cold, inert stomach, and you see the shaping hand of hunger that had bruised it. Right here, see? And now if you'll look closer, deep in this cold, corrugated brain, you'll find the hatred and the wandering and the waning of Johnny Brogman growing and making a sort of tumor, a fester spot. Inside the brain you'll find... Brogman stood on the corner of that dusty little town, watching grasshoppers sweeping over the hot blue sky in a curtain. The bank was across the street. A stolen automobile, its motor still running warm, was parked in front of it. He'd parked it there with his own hands, and then strode across the searing hot asphalt to stand here on this corner, sweating, thinking, knowing that there was something ahead of him that he wanted. He wasn't certain what it was. Maybe it was in the bank. Maybe it had to do with guns, power, danger, and something else. The gun was heavy in its leather nest under his arm. Something he wanted for a long time. What? Something he wanted. A woman walked along with a slow, thoughtful walk. Her eyes went through him, away and then slid back again to make a man of him, up and down, and her red lips parted as if she knew his mind. Brogman swallowed thickly, trying to look away. He stood there, eyes narrowing. Then she revolved slowly, put one foot after the other with a sort of measured rhythm, and went away, with her hair like long fire on her neck, and her eyes like amber metal that could catch emotion and keep it there. Brogman's stomach muscles lay down like crouching animals. He began to walk across the steaming street, up the high curb. His big ears pricked alert. There, the car motor, still muttering inside its casing, now into the cool cavern of the bank, cool expanse of marble, shining cages that kept domesticated animals inside them, with cool green money at their pale, domesticated fingertips. Brogman lifted the dead weight of the gun, fitted into his calloused hand. From there on, things resolved into slow, sludgy underwater gestures of people suspended in a slow-motion film, lazily his face slowly shading white under the regular pallor of his skin. The little teller shifted a slow hand to money stacked in green stratus, extracted it sluggishly, shoved it gradually forward until it sank with agonizing lack of gravity into Brogman's palm. He pocketed the money. It took what seemed like 3 minutes to do it. Then things speeded up to triple action. An alarm was going like a kick of adrenaline, setting things into blurred quickness. Echoes of a gong jumped back from marble cliffs, warning. Brogman ran across smooth stone acres. People shouted. Everything whirled hotly in his eyes when the sun struck him as he entered the daylight. He didn't know if it was the sun or not, but when he twisted the car door open, he pulled back and gasped. She waited for him in the car. The woman with the hair like long fire and the eyes like yellow metal, who'd walked by him a few minutes ago, looking into him and knowing him, and walking on. Her hard fingers gripped the steering wheel so that the knuckles stood out whitely. Recovering, he swung sideways into the seat, poking the gun. Get out! No, she said simply, and meant it. He pushed the gun further against her white blouse. I said, get out! Her answer was to engage the gears, jump the accelerator, thrusting the car away from the curb, shrieking rubber. She flushed the car to 70 miles an hour before he knew what she was doing. He had glimpses of darting trees, spinning signs, buildings, and her voice biting through it all. I'm driving, wherever you want to go. I'm driving. Sitting there, the color rose in his protruding cheekbones. He glanced back at the vanishing Main Street. Move fast, that's all. Take Highway 43. Don't be dumb, she snapped it back at him. That's a graveyard road. We'll go my way. I know this damned burg inside and out like a book. He realized he was shuddering and had to clasp his knees, bending to ease the sick pain in his belly, as if he'd been shot. What's wrong? She said. They get you? No, he made himself straight. I'm all right. I imagine things. Stomach like a hot hole in it. Gah. Then, while the miles spun under them, he kept silent, nursing his pain. Once, glancing up, he saw her sharp profile against running skyline, green trees, bright gas stations. Her lips were full of stubbornness and hard, like the evened teeth backing them up. The eyes were the startling part, like feral things plucked from a lusting cat animal and caught in her shocking white face. They didn't belong, not with that flame on her head falling in loose, whipping fingers of color to her shoulders, tucked behind almost man-like ears. After about 5 minutes, she said, "We've lost them." She held the hot speed through hot desert. How much money? He counted it. 700. Chicken feed. He saw her trim ankle muscles tauten, pressing out more mileage. Slowly, he touched the curve of her leg with his blue eyes, coming up along her brown woolen skirt to the small breasts and the open neck of her white blouse, where the cords of her throat went stiffly yet beautifully up. Stop the car, he said quietly. She ignored him. Who in hell are you? He demanded hotly, running me around. This was my job. It's ours now. She gave him a brief metallic glance. You're no killer. I know. It's not in your face. Your eyes are open too wide for killing. Stop the car. Parked, she looked straight ahead. I'm cutting myself in, she said to the road. I've been outside a little while, but I'm coming back in. He twisted her from the wheel. You're damn well in. He kissed her so it hurt them both. The world went away, a siren. If it had whined, would not have been heard, or a gun shooting, only her cynically stubborn lips moving under his. She pulled back, eyes angry and yet puzzled, a moment. Don't do that again, she let him know evenly. She made the wheels roar again. I'm the one who does that. Remember from now on, you. It was his turn to be puzzled. Okay, he said. Desert wind came in the windows, searing, burning them. She parked the car for the night on a little dirt road equipped with stars, a moon, and ranch lights hanging on the foothills. She slid from the car, shoes rustling in dry thatches of bramble. He said, Why'd you climb in my car today? She had her answer ready. You were headed for the morgue. I put you on a detour. You need training, the way you walk, talk. Hold a gun. You looked like a kid waiting for a ticket in front of a dime movie today, yeah? Let me finish. Remember Ricky Wolf? God, yes. I was with him, she said, for 5 years. The name Ricky Wolf was like a hammer striking. Ricky Wolf, the big-time all-around gangman, a guy nobody proved nothing on, with a capacity for gin and blood that was legendary. She stood there and told them about it. 6 weeks ago, they killed him in Iowa, threw his body in the river. Only way you could tell it was him was his wallet. They never had a print of his fingers. She breathed deeply. So I came west again, here to California, covered up a while, working as a waitress. Then I came along. Yeah, I saw you and knew you needed training, or you'd be dead too soon. Ricky was different. He was broken in when I got him. But I always wanted to see what I could do with a beginner. She turned to him. You're only good as your woman is good. If she's a heller, a whiner, a baby, you'll be on a dead slab in no time. She won't let you think clear. She showed him her hard white fingers. My nails are clipped short for a cat. I won't rip your back. Now, it's up to you. You want to die tomorrow or 4 years from now? Is it that way? That's the way it is. He suddenly broke, standing there. He didn't know why, but he just had his arms around her, trembling. I'm glad you came. I wouldn't want to be alone tonight. She kissed him, almost clumsily, and he thought he felt her tremble deep inside. Then she slapped his face with her hands twice hard. A kiss is for one thing, a slap's for another. You're not a kid. Learn that. If you stick with me, grow up. He stopped shaking. In his nostrils, the warm, clean smell of her body, with no dime perfume to spoil its cleanliness, became suddenly apparent. He waited for her to make the first move. I'm not a kid now, he said. Their feet rustled in the dry sand, and that's the end of chapter 1.